Custer's last handstand. Sent to Indian Territory after bringing up West Point's academic rear, he'd stoop to scrutinize a track, then presto inverto, his boots were in the air. He held this posture on horseback at full gallop as his soldiers cheered. He walked on his hands, too, feet dangling like a scorpion's tail over his head, while Indian scouts, bronze faces breaking into grins, screeched war cries and pranced like savages. He dreamed of gripping a conquered general's sword between his feet, not snatching it with both hands, the way that drunk Ulysses Grant grabbed General Lee's. Even when Little Bighorn blew its sourest notes, he never quailed. Colt pistol cracking, sword flailing, he barely heard his soldiers' shrieks. He stood alone and laughed, his horse death twitching at his feet. "Look," he cried, as swinging tomahawks and scalping knives, the Sioux braves rampaged in. "Watch this," he roared, thrust his hands into brown earth, and raised his bloody boots, his hair yellow as Black Hill's gold showering down. All right, yeah, we're talking about heroes, or at least Carl was, and I think Marlene was too. So let me find what heroism has been reduced to. See if I can. I learned that some of you may know this if you have any show business background, that a hero food is what they call like the food that they photograph for a commercial. And there's a quote that I got out of Food Styling for Photographers, no kidding, and it goes like this. Whether the hero food is on a table in the studio or in the fridge, be sure it is identified as the hero and not eaten. Get in big trouble if you eat the hero food. So here's the poem. We need heroes more than the Greeks did. Still, let one of us gain the slightest shine. Here come the pundits, lugging sandpaper and slime. We're left to make do with the dancing can of corn. Big Boy Tomato starring in The Salad. Kenny Carrot leading the allied vegetables against the merciless axis of tooth decay. We're left with the hero beer that fills a regular guy's hand and helps him talk to supermodels. With the hero sandwich, primed with enough onions to blow any invader from the field. Hail to the hero, shaped like a submarine to sink the enemy, like a bullet blasted into evil's heart, like a football that spirals 90 yards into the hands of a steroid-puffed, illiterate multimillionaire who hurls it to the ground, then does a capering end zone self-coronation as the country cheers. You guys remember the Weekly World News? Anybody remember that? The greatest surrealist journal in the country while it lasted. It was always put right next to the National Enquirer as you were checking out in the supermarket. And I don't know who they expected to believe the stories, but they had some very strange ones. And one of their favorite characters was called the world's fattest man. And he was supposed to weigh like over 3,000 pounds. So, and there were pictures of it, and I describe him in here. Anyway, this was one of the headlines. It's called "World's Fattest Man is Missing." When I weighed 200 pounds, no one could miss me. Sunny Day Play School trucked in a special desk and let me use the teacher's pot. Did you see that? People would say. At 400, I started fading. When the boys chose sides, they didn't look at me. When I asked Tina to the prom, she turned as if I weren't there. At half a ton, I couldn't squeeze out of my house to be seen. I dodged mirrors like a vampire so they stopped reflecting me. Now people stare at my photo. Bloated toad with tiny tadpole feet, my pea head grinning like the world's biggest 3,010-pound joke. In person, I'm like Earth's curvature, my scale too vast to see. People mistake me for some water-sculpted mountain. Parts keep avalanching down. Once the flesh quits quivering, I'm very still. Matter ceases to exist when movement stops. That is my goal as I sit, absorbing stillness. Or is it absorbing me? Houseflies doze on my forehead. Spiders nest in every crack. Soon my weight will make me fall into myself. My gravity so strong, not even light escapes. Wow. Nice. Thank you. Those hmms are good to hear. Okay, this is about a different kind of war, and the title goes right into the poem. So here it is. The woman on the cover of Glamour magazine would not look twice at me. She's so spunky, confident, devil-may-care in her crimson blouse, her violet eyes so full of tigress in bed and tyrant in the boardroom that her auburn hair waves in the breeze of her own forcefulness, tousled and churning as if she's flying her latest rescue, Lucky Man, like a babe in her slim, muscular arms, hearing the cheers of earthbound females who think they can be her by shooting, metaphorically, this magazine into their veins, whence it will blast its magic to their brains as she streaks on her own power through clouds puffy pink as pillows on the Louis XIV's bed in which she deigns to sip the world's best wine before attacking the Krav Maga workout that keeps her abs so tight, her buns so trim, her shoulders able to heft effortlessly the weight of her natural D cups, even hunched over the equation she's developing to link at last general relativity with the quantum world of ultra-tiny particles, one of which I am compared to her. Okay, and one more. This one, I guess. Everybody has to find their own way to be a warrior and to try to be a hero or to try to be whatever, at least try to be able to look themselves in the mirror. And writers have their own ways to do it. So this one is called Meanwhile Back on Mount Olympus. It's in 3 parts, and I'm just going to hold up my fingers because I hate to say one. Even as stretched in the dirt beside his dead friend Patroclus, Achilles howls for Hector's blood. He has to cool his heels with me, the reader, while for 154 long lines, Homer celebrates Hephaestus, the lame god of smiths, who recreates on Big A's shield in bronze, tin, silver, gold, the living heavens, oceans, continents. As Homer must have hated huddling in the dark while sighted warriors hacked their way to fame and made sons proud, I hate watching the latest steroid Superman slam a record-shattering home run, then jog to the dugout brandishing his son. I dread the day my boy sees me as less hero than clown, with my weak eyes and crooked back, too short for basketball, too slow for track, too blind for baseball, too cowardly to box or wrestle, let alone face Trojan spears aimed at my guts. Limping Hephaestus was god of fire too. His blood flamed hot as Achilles. That is why, unfit for battle, he forged on the hero's shining shield his own war cry, and Homer gave us his. And listen, can you hear it? I add mine. Thank you.